motion to have Mike and Fran Moriarty sit in place for the other members?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Okay, so Fran and Michael will sit as regular members this evening. So Fran, how you been feeling? You're back, is this the first time you're back, or,
I'm doing good.
Good.
Yeah, I finished my rehab,
You finished your rehab?
so I passed.
You passed the test?
Back to do, gave me a clean bill of health, so
So
you
you
do
said you can
anything.
go to Board of Finance meetings, it's all right to, okay, very good. All right, so that's,
Just don't get excited, that's all.
yeah, we're trying to,
That goes for all.
That's gonna be tough here. Uh-huh.
okay, first order of business, approved minutes of August 3rd, 2015.
I move to accept as presented.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion is approved. Minutes are approved. All right, so now we have transfers, and was Richard gonna come here to explain these, or?
I don't think so. They're all just basically the final run numbers.
Clean up.
Well, one of them is all within the park, so it doesn't have one big difference.
Right, that's what most of them are. There's only one that requires a potential for a town meeting, and that's for the Witt School cleanup. All the rest of them are just pretty much within your line items to clean them up.
You know who made a mess up there? When they had all the police going in their training up there at the school, inside? Is this what this is for?
No,
No.
this is for the spill, there was a
This is for
tank.
the spill, the
Oh,
water.
okay, for the outside
Yeah.
store,
Yeah.
but inside is the burn.
Really?
What are you looking at that I don't have?
It's,
On back of what?
I don't have all the transfers there. You don't have to-
It's the,
No,
it's the
we-
minutes of the Board of Selectmen meeting, there's like 2 pages of transfers.
that's all.
Ah. There are really 4 pages, isn't there?
About that, yeah, it's a bunch.
5?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's the other sheet here, which, I guess these
Oh, yeah.
are approved at a special meeting or something, so these are in addition to what? Okay.
You lose a group, sir?
And the 27,000 is for the cleanup at the spill at the Wood School, is that correct? And that's gonna come out of cash balance, or it's requested that it come out of cash balance.
No insurance on that? Well, we have no choice, the work's already been done, it's completed.
We did the spill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a, workers' comp to social security and Medicare, 18,700, that's a rather substantial transfer, is that,
That's because the overtime, all the overtime,
right,
so the social security and Medicare
right,
cover that portion. And the workers' comp was estimated based on what they recommended, and it came in less
okay,
with the change in insurance company.
All right, so that's
and
money-
again, it's within the same line item, 210
okay.
fixed charges.
All right, so that's money that's there, that's just gonna
Correct.
go from one insurance to another, basically.
Correct.
Is it too late? I was here.
Where
So
is
that-
the,
Those go along with the $49,000 salary transfer.
correct, they had extra in
Where's the
salaries,
transfers?
because they
We're
never
just
replaced
discussing
Tom
transfers.
Whitus.
Okay.
So
Did
they
you
were able
sit
to
down?
use that to
Yeah, we
cover the
did, yeah.
overage and overtime.
Okay,
So it's all
okay,
within
well,
highway
it's-
department, it's all the same line
Okay.
items. The only one that crossed items, there's one for the registrar of voters, due to the budget, extra budget referendums, where we crossed from the town clerk line to the registrar of voters line. I'm trying to see what page that's on.
It looks like on the second, or third page.
Yes, the 120, yeah, you'll see the 125 referendum to the budget referendum of $2,000.
$1,000. And the other big item is the 49,000, that's for the actual overtime for stone removal, is that correct?
Correct, yep, and that's coming from one highway line to another highway
Okay,
line.
and how do you pay that one? Okay.
they're all pretty, the only one that's, they're looking for cash fund balance is that Wood School.
What's on this next page here? It says, hi, Lisa, we were just notified of RSD.
Oh, that's for, family services, up on the hill, they get an SDE grant, and it's been reduced. So I didn't know what to do with that, I didn't, because obviously, they can't spend the money if they don't have it.
Right.
So I guess we're asking, so you're aware that we'll reduce the revenue, and I'll reduce those line items, so they can't,
Okay.
so they'll match again,
Is that for last year,
no, for this
for
year.
this current year?
Yep.
Okay.
And I've got another page here, transfers, and software.
What
Yeah,
is
those,
this
they were
little-
supposed to be at their meeting, and, Beth had forgot to put it on the agenda. That's that, $10 permit fee software that they got. It went over, you had moved like $6,000, so it went over just a little bit. And that's it. It's $500.
On this register of voters, it says here that, and again, I don't know if they want her to appear to the selectmen's meeting
Well-
or here.
They originally asked her to appear to the selectmen's meeting. She wrote them an email, she was unable to attend the meeting, and she requested transfers then. I have a copy of it up there that I can forward to all of you. Because then they said that she should do that, because she didn't respond to get them done, so they made that big thing about I made those entries. It's all within their line items, so it's just moving it from one to the other.
Because in here it states something about overspending.
Yeah, well, the training, they had something that they had booked the training, and that's why we need to cover that. So, like I said, they had the money within their other line items, they didn't end up.
So that's
getting-
what you did, you took it out of the other line items to cover it.
Correct.
But has she,
And where
responded
she's
still?
at right now, well, she responded to them, I'll forward you that.
Good, okay.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the transfers outlined in item 9, item number 9, of Selectmen's minutes dated Thursday, August 13th, 2015. And I know that's not everything we're doing right now, but at least we have some order to it, so.
Okay, is there a second for that motion? Seconded by Dick, okay, all right. So, and you're, I assume you're excluding the general fund one, because that has to go to,
We're talking about the number 9?
yeah, the end of
All
number
right,
9.
well, I'll amend that motion to include the general fund, which has to go to the public meeting.
You include that, so in other words, you're moving to send that to approve the others, but to send the last one to public meeting.
Yeah, you wanna keep that aside?
Let's keep it aside, just.
Let's keep it aside.
Yeah, because it will make,
Excluding the one for the,
right, okay.
the 27,743.46.
Okay. All right, well, I mean, a lot of it's just routine end-of-the-year stuff from one line to
Yeah,
another.
so for clarity, we're talking about everything, these have page numbers on them, no, but, it starts where it says item number 9, or appears to be maybe
It's everything in that,
the second page, everything in 9 except
except for that last one.
that last one, cash balance, general fund.
You got a community center
Okay,
trans,
second and that, Dick?
yeah, Dick seconded that.
Okay.
Okay. You got a community center, 1,824 for transportation. Actually, there's 2 increases. Is there any reason for that?
Yes, what they did is, because they got that extra grant for the transportation, they got to increase the hours
Right,
that they drive the car for
Uh-huh.
appointments and the bus.
okay.
So that's what that's all about. So they needed to cover the extra transportation that they did,
Uh-huh.
and they're moving it from the various line items.
Right, but this is actual, this is not from the grant, this is from line item to line item.
Right, because they didn't estimate enough in there
Okay,
for the increased hours
Right.
when they first did it.
so now they have a new bus, so if they want to use it a lot more, is that?
And they haven't got the bus yet.
Oh.
They're having problems with the old bus. It's
Okay.
been bad up there
All right.
with the bus situation, the source of it. They will have a new bus, hopefully soon.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions on any of these? I know it's quite a bit here, but it just doesn't look like it's anything too controversial. If there's no comments, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of Ted's motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Did everyone vote for it? 5 in favor, none opposed, is that correct? Okay. All right, okay, so then, we also have the,
We need a motion for the town meeting, 1 second.
yeah, we'll do a separate motion for that, yeah, okay.
We have two of those?
Well, we have,
I think that's just a backup for the amount, what you're just looking at there.
This is the wood school.
Yeah, I think that's a backup for that $7,000 figure,
And that's 47,743.
correct.
And that is for what, that oil spill?
Is that going with the finance charges though? Total is 28,331.
Maybe they got those waived, that's why they're not looking for them. I couldn't tell you.
You able to find the money, wanna find the money if not?
I would say yes, they must. No,
That's why I can't figure out how to turn my finger phone off either, so.
and I don't carry cell phones, I don't know.
I have one in my purse, was on my,
Just call your grandkids, they know.
Yeah, that's true, you're right. It's
Oh, yeah,
something
it's
like
easy.
that.
they can do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at the cash balance, is someone want to discuss that, a motion on that, or what?
Sure, I'll move that we transfer from cash balance to, what's it, continuing fund abatement?
Right, you're gonna move that we go to town meeting.
Amount
Recommend to town meeting.
27,743.46
Okay,
at town meeting.
is there a second for that?
Second,
Seconded by Jane, okay.
I have a question, Lisa, how did our cash balance this year end up?
Well, we're not quite finished yet, but, it's definitely a positive.
Good.
So, the finance charges are gonna continue to accrue until this is paid?
No, I'm sure they probably already called about that. The fact that they circled just the amount means they probably called about the finance charges.
When you
Once
say
people
they-
realize they're dealing with a municipality, they usually,
And who is this paid to?
it says at the top of the invoice, environmental,
Services Inc.?
Environmental Services Inc.,
Okay.
South Windsor.
Well, I've seen the booms over there, so I know.
Yeah.
It's in the duck room, right?
Yeah.
That's where the cutout
Correct,
is, yeah. So, yeah, cool. Okay, any further discussion on that, motion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Okay, that matter is approved. And we still have this other page, I think, we need to vote on this too, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Does everyone have the other page? It's a small amount. but
This is the
it's
one
not-
for the permit fee program software.
Is this the program that was gonna be paid for from the building permit fees, from people with,
But they haven't increased the fee yet.
oh, okay, because I remember some discussion on that they would have this program in place,
Right.
and it would make it so much easier to apply for a fee.
Right, exactly.
But
But
the-
it's not live yet, that's part of the issue.
Right, not
So,
live,
It's not live in the sense that people can go online and.
so you can't use it yet.
Correct.
The program
Right.
is, we
And
pay,
this is, we're putting them in ourselves,
right,
type of thing.
we're paying for the software
Yep.
to install in our system.
Right, and it's that $10 per permit.
Right, and we should get it back after it's live.
No, we
No.
won't get that money
We
back.
won't get any of that, okay.
That's the fee to use it. So
Mhm.
if they change the fee structure
Mhm.
to include in it, like say it's a $50 permit, they would charge $60, so the $10 you pay for the permit,
Yep.
software, $50 comes to the town.
Right.
I'm not sure what Dennis, because of these other projects, I'm guessing that's been pushed aside.
Okay,
So,
How do we budget for it for this coming year?
the same figure was put in again, that $6,000.
So we're gonna have the same kind of transfers at some point?
Well, depending on how many permits come through.
I'm gonna we approve these three transfers, one for 149.60, one for 339.47, the other from 1093.
all right, do I hear a second to that?
And myself, please.
Second.
Second, okay. Any further conversation, any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed say no, okay, that is approved. All right, new business, we did have one other matter we have to review, is that correct, or?
That's correct, it's with the the grant,
Mhm.
the cemetery grant.
Mhm.
that we've been
Is everyone-
applying for.
Everyone has a sheet here, from OPM, Austin.
It just has to be written up and then we authorize the first selectman to apply for and administer the school.
Can we go to the password? Do we always have to?
This is new.
This is new. It's a new thing.
Oh, it's a new one, yeah.
There is apparently there are cemeteries in town that are not maintained and they're neglected. This question came up.
On Street?
Yeah, sure. And this question came up with one in Crystal Lake, I guess, and apparently there is no need for the municipality to take care of these cemeteries, but I assume this program enables, well, we could if we wanted, that's
Yeah.
basically what it says. And I assume it's granted. What is the amount of the grants applied for? Do you-
It's
Maximum
2,000.
2,000.
Oh, okay.
It's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money.
No, okay. All right, but they need approval from the Board of Finance to apply, is that what they're,
Correct.
okay.
I move we do it.
All right, do I hear a second?
Second,
Seconded?
doesn't hurt.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no, all right. the,
Any free money is a good thing.
That's true, we all like free money, all right, so
Yeah, it's great money.
that's been approved, so you just transmit that to the Board of Selectmen now. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have anything else for tonight?
Just that.
And just the SDE,
What is this? What's this?
that's
The
the,
reduction in expenditures. I didn't know what to do with it, because I don't wanna leave it at the current number and have them spend them, so she asked for me to reduce them. Can I just reduce them without the Board of Finance, or just?
What is the SDE?
That's the, grant for youth services up at Family Services.
And
It's usually around $25,000 and some change. Typically, they'll get a small increase, so we're usually coming back to increase the revenue, to increase the expenditures. This year, they need to be reduced. So it's basically just a formality, I guess, for me to move the numbers down.
Well, I don't know if there's any procedure by which we
Right,
reduce an
exactly.
appropriation, so that's,
Right.
we would just direct you, I guess, not to spend more than what is gonna come in. Do you
So
want a motion from the board to do that, or?
I just want a motion that I can reduce it to that number, so it does, I'll reduce the revenue that matches,
Mhm.
so the two will coincide.
All right, okay.
So moved.
Here a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Anytime we spend less money, it's good too, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's a good thing.
All right.
Just reduce the
Please make a
money.
note that we spend less money tonight.
I know. Put that on the,
$769.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so anything else?
That's it.
Okay, is there anything the board members have they wanna?
The only thing that I am requesting is, a lot of these things come to us, so we have to look at them quickly. Is there any possible way that we can get an agenda item with maybe backups before that, like email to us?
They did
Like a
today.
week before the meeting, or?
Yeah, but I mean, like even the supporting documents, is it possible to get these beforehand? Because these weren't sent out
Mhm.
beforehand.
Yep, we could do that if you want.
Okay.
Like maybe, would it be too expensive, like a package in the mail or something? Would it be too time consuming and expensive, or how would you do that,
Well,
Laura?
the email.
You can email, right?
Yeah.
Just email it, and we print it out, or we
Right.
read it online?
Or you can read it.
You sent it through email, right?
I did the transfers, I
Yeah, the
did.
transfers.
Yeah, but-
Yeah,
yeah,
the only
but
thing that did
All the
was
supporting documents we didn't get.
the state grant.
All there was the transfers, but this stuff we didn't get.
Okay.
That'd be nice if we could
All
have
right.
that.
Now, there was some also correspondence sent out regarding a fire truck.
Correspondence for what?
One email I got, it was everything I wanted.
Oh, is that in-
The
that
fire
would be
truck,
in the
no, I think that was all
That
selectmen
was
thing.
probably.
That was in the
yeah,
select.
That's part of the selectmen's office,
Yeah.
the fire truck.
Only because if there's an issue coming up and you want to kind of research it and think about it, it's kind of hard when you're sitting here and all of a sudden you want to make a motion or you have to vote on it, it's quick. So it would be nice to be able to look at it and digest it before you got here.
Most of the time
That's
you
almost
do.
800,000, yeah.
Yeah, most of the time you do.
Yeah, I usually try to,
Yeah, but I mean, whatever package you would be giving us
at the
at
night.
the meeting, if we could get it,
Yep.
would be great.
It'd be good if we all printed it up ahead of time, which nobody
I would
does.
say, maybe,
I just don't want to make more work for you, but
We were talking
Might
today about
scan
maybe
it.
we can, when the board is going through getting rid of some of their own equipment, if we could get laptops or tablets, whatever they're not using anymore, just to just put the PDF files on for you. So
Which
they
are
would
the
be,
school-
yeah, so we
Well,
could
the
say.
Board of
maybe
We won't be
Education
like
has
the
that.
Board of Ed with
Yeah.
our own little.
Something similar,
Do we
just
get
so
name
it's,
tags
you know,
too?
How about
Just
just
so
two
we're not,
iPads that go around?
you know, keeping the paper going, you know.
So we sit here, we're looking,
Yeah, right.
Exactly,
yeah.
yeah, there will be no games on there.
no game, see, I know.
No internet access at all,
Alright.
just PDF files.
Okay, all right. Okay, so,
Not a problem, I can do that.
okay, yeah, no, if you get that like a week in advance, I think, but of course, a lot of these, like the transfers were approved when, so,
They were a while.
Well, I just got the small one,
yeah, but I
just
mean,
this week.
Yeah, they were approved by the selectmen, right?
I'm wondering when they were approved, so they were approved on, oh, August, okay, so actually, we did that for a while, okay.
Just a couple days ago.
When's our
That's all right,
next
there you
meeting?
go, August 13th.
When's our next meeting?
October 5th.
I believe that's what it is.
Okay.
September, October 5th.
And the project behind the Big Y, should be breaking ground sometime early part of October,
Mm-hmm.
hoping sooner than that.
Everything looks good?
Yeah, but we've had some headaches, but, they're being resolved.
That's expected, isn't it?
Well, it shouldn't have happened, but
Yeah.
small towns and, you know, banks dealing with municipalities, they want things signed, not a handshake. So it's created some problems for the town to get all these documents and such signed and legalized. And the big thing, the banks were looking for is a timeline of when things are gonna happen.
You know, I'm sure the town's gonna put in their part of the, like the sewers and stuff, or?
Yeah, and when they expect. So Mike and I met with Dennis and Rich last week and kind of backed them in the corner and said, we need this because, to be honest, if we don't do it soon enough, we won't do the project. And I don't think Rich wants to do that probably right now, the election time.
I don't think anybody wants to.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
grants money, it's only available for certain
Yeah,
periods.
well, not so much, the investors only have a time
So you
frame,
get
they can
investors.
take this 9% tax break.
Yeah.
And this window is narrowing down because there are other opportunities for them to do it, so they don't wanna lose this.
Yeah.
So Harvey, I'm sure, has been on Rich's case to move this along as quick as possible, so we finally met with him. And we met Wednesday, Mike and I, and we had something in hand that showed a schedule, so.
Good.
So it looks like now, in the emails I had today, things I think they've already agreed, I think, I'm not sure they signed today the property, so that's taken care of. And I think some of the things, they had to get some maps straightened out in the town hall, especially assessors maps, the numbers and such, right? But those aren't legal, if I'm correct, the maps in the assessor's office are not legal maps. Those are really only working maps for the assessor's office and for the zoning people to look at. The official ones are in the town hall, in the town clerk's office. So that was, been going back and forth, I guess that was resolved today. So things look now that we'll probably move ahead first part of October.
This was supposed to start like 2 weeks ago. That was the,
We'd
that
like to
was the
start
goal.
it a little more early than that.
Yeah.
But again, it's like anything else, there's many people involved, and where we're used to dealing locally, that, okay, go ahead and do it, we'll take care of it next week. Well, the banks don't work that way, they don't trust us. So the big thing was the water. They didn't want to start something and find out that they never got the water. And I guess things have happened that way with some of the big projects that the banks have been involved in. Something they needed, they didn't get. So they're not taking any chances in small towns, so. But we're on schedule.
Well, the water was approved, but they
Right.
actually wanted it in, or they just wanted it?
No, but we understand here, the town is legal.
Right.
They don't understand that. It's like what they've
They
done.
don't wanna build it, then water will come, or that.
Right, yeah,
That's
water
right.
will later,
They want to sign this seal and they want a date,
yeah. Right.
so.
Now, this is being built on what, to the right side of the
On
shopping
the,
center?
in the
there?
back of it, we're gonna go to the right, go around it up in the back.
On the back, okay, to the right of like where those
And
solar
we'll
panels
build
are.
one of the 25 unit first,
Mhm.
and then we'll build the cottages
Right.
later on.
So are we actually buying the land from the Big White Center, is that how it
Yeah.
works? So it's part of the appropriation?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you're gonna see that whole area develop pretty fast.
they intend to, their Big Y is responsible for all out front, that
Yeah.
all clearing. And I think I saw a quick sketch, there's 2 buildings, and there's another building going adjacent to the bank along that. And I see
There's
cabs,
another building they have in a sketch, you don't know what it is, all right?
no, they didn't say.
Whatever it is, we'll have a 4 o'clock dinner special, I'm sure.
That's in their approval.
Yeah.
But that's, no, I'm sure they wanna put something
And
in
I
there.
see Kaz has got his property up.
Yeah, he wants
Who does?
Kaz is at.
Well, that's right, yeah, the old RTD. That's
So
right,
that's,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah, so that's up, so I'd be surprised if they'll probably grab that. Dobson wants
Price is
nine,
right.
yeah, Dobson wants 900,000 for his. So,
Which one's that?
the one right adjacent to the local station,
That's like the only house left there, right?
yeah,
That's the only house left there,
Yeah.
right? If I recall.
and Kaz's place.
I think when this happens, you see a lot of that where people put it out there and they think they're, you know, then
Yeah.
they'll realize what it's actually worth if they
Yeah.
want to sell it.
Yeah,
So,
they'll get
so we should be, in roughly 16 to 17 months, it'll be all completed.
That'd be nice, yeah.
Mhm.
And a local contractor got the earth moving, that's all phase.
Right.
The general contractor for the buildings is down on the coast, and a lot of it's gonna be prefab, it's gonna be built off-site.
Really?
Oh,
Just truck it in, huh?
Chuck it in, yeah.
I'm surprised Allphase didn't get that part of it, that seems to be what they do the most of. The actual
Well, I guess
construction of buildings.
this person that Harvey deals with has dealt with before.
That's right, Harvey's from the coast too.
Yeah, so, but this is something new, they can be working inside, good weather, bad weather, and so they can move fairly quickly. We'll soon find out.
Oh, it'd be nice, nice improvement.
Yeah, yeah, and then, as quick as this is probably on the way, we'll probably apply for the next phase. Hope it doesn't take as long.
How many is it? How many phases? Is it 2 or 3?
Well, probably 2 at least, we hope to have 200 units there,
Wow.
so
Mhm.
2, possibly 3. But you're talking, you know, it could be another 3 years or what?
Judging by the people that were at the meeting from Avery Park, it can't happen soon enough. I mean,
Yeah.
A lot of them are really.
Plus, we have to close 30 of the units in this phase, which I think will be the lower power having all the water troubles will be closed.
Well, those poor people won't be walking over to the big Y anymore.
No. And they're gonna be, there's, I believe, 8 units that will be available to anyone at the going rate of rent.
Huh.
And then the other units, the new units are gonna be almost twice the size of the units up here. The ones here are just about 400 square feet, these are gonna be just shy of 800 square feet. So it's a big, big difference, a lot like the Summers.
What's the criteria for going into it?
You have to meet certain criteria, but we have to take so many people at the rates they're paying now, and then the other ones that will be available will be at a higher rate, because these are more costly today to build compared to they were in 1960.
Mhm.
So you have to keep, then it'll be run by a management group for 15 years. At the end of 15 years, the housing authority can buy it for $1, and then it's ours. And I believe through the pilot program, the town will receive $60,000 a year for the service that are provided, and that's the max.
That's in lieu of taxes, in other words, that's based on the rent that will
Yeah.
come in.
So that would come to the selectmen, and they'll decide how they want to disperse that money.
They'll start right away with, I
I'm
mean,
not
once it's built, in
sure.
other words.
I'm not sure.
I don't think it's still they're occupied, because it's
Right.
supposed to be
Probably,
rent, it's supposed to be
yeah.
a rent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's been kind of a, not a hassle, but a problem for WBCA, because they figure so much money and such. And that's been somewhat resolved. Now I think we're working at the, there's a number for what the town can charge for a building permit, and I think it's 1.5% or something like that.
Mhm.
Well, that would be a big number. And so other towns have waived that. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen. That's something between the board of selectmen and us now.
What did he have in his plans for building permit fees? His original numbers?
Well, each town is different.
No, but when he put the package together, he must have had a fee. in that
I'm
one.
sure he has. I don't know what it is. I didn't see those figures.
How many units in the first phase?
79, well, it's 79 rentals in it, but I think there's 17 buildings, I think, something like that. The smaller ones are like duplexes, and they'll start coming up around the entrance, up to where the others are. But a lot of Phil's gonna be, there's a lot of work at doing on the site. It's, you know, so Alfay's got the work cut off on him.
Well, they don't have far to travel to go to work.
No. So they're as quick as, all the i's are dotted on the d's and things are, they're ready to go.
Good.
Exciting moments, it was 4 years to get here.
It's a good thing.
Move to adjourn.
Long 4 years, right, Dick? A long 4
Well,
years.
not really, you stop to think of it, how time goes fast.
Oh, yeah.
I had a motion to
Yeah,
adjourn.
somebody gonna second that?
What's that?
Somebody gonna second Ted's motion?
Second.
Second, okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, stand adjourned.
Our next meeting, Lori, I know I can look at the calendar.
October 5th, she said.
October 5th.